Hello everyone, it's Gwathorn from Gwathorn's Games, and today I am doing something slightly different. I'm running all the Heroic +2 max difficulty character for every class at level 7. So they're all solo self-found, and I've started them all on Before the Shadow. So I'll go into the first one, show you what I mean. So the Brawler is the first of the character classes alphabetically. I'll break this up so that I've got links to where everything is, each character class, where they start in this video, but I intend going through all of them. So yeah, I've decided to make Orcrist, the European server, my max difficulty solo self-found server. I have a whole server to play with, so I just thought I'd run through it. So the Brawler, I actually have set it up so that I've got food consumables that's actually from the bevy of bars, and I've done that for all of them, all of these character classes. You can actually just buy the food from Provisioner, and you get some extra food from questing at the beginning. But I'm in Moss Ward, and I'm going to go and do a little bit of farming. Well, not farming, actually taking out some critters. So setup damage maxed out, and I've got first strike, because you really need first strike for the Brawler. You're not got a lot of healing, so check that over a bit. So I don't have any virtue traits at this point, but let's go and do some fighting. So it, as you see, it's Heroic +2. You can actually get that from the Hardened Traveller. And I'll actually chuck that over to damage. Now, the level 7 creatures, okay, so we've got a level 5 one here. It's all pretty easy, especially with the, oh, where are we? Let's get up here. I've got to be able to fight it. There it is. Come to me. It's not going to get off the rock, is it? Oh, where's the way? Okay, I'm going to ignore that one. I'm going to go and take something else. I've never seen them stuck on that, but that's the way of it. Okay, first strike. You should be able to see the keys I use. Fairly straightforward, pretty easily done. So that's a level 5 creature. That's 2 levels lower at Heroic +2. First strike's back up. Let's see what this is, level 5. Okay, level 5 will do. So I'm just going to go around, I'm going to take some stuff out. So the actual character itself, because I'm running the High Elf, I've got all of the gear from the High Elf pack. And I've also got the gauntlets from the beginning of the Epic quest here. So I've done the Epic quest at the beginning for all the prologue, for all of these character classes, to get the better weapon. So it's just better DPS, really quite nice. And I've got the earring, which gives a little bit of extra experience from having the Mordor expansion, Minas Morgul expansion. Okay, so this would be level 4, easy enough. Again, now you got to take everything out before you got to take it all out. There's another level 4. I'll see if I can get something slightly higher. But you can see what it does. It's all pretty straightforward, quite easy. Let's see if I can find a level 6 creature, and that should do me, and I'll move on to the next one. So one of the reasons I like Moss Ward is to start off with, you can, there we go, level 6. That's going to be as close as I get to difficult. Come on, drop down. First strike, Good hit. Get some metal up. And we're done. Okay, so as you can see, nice experience still kicking up. Now this character is going to, as far as crafting is concerned, because it's a heavy armor character, I'm actually going to pick up prospecting, metalsmith, and weaponsmith in actual fact, because the weapons up until level 45 are going to be, the weaponsmith is going to be the thing that gives me everything, and they all run off prospecting. Anyway, let's move on to the next character. I think that's shown everything I need to show at this point. Quite easy to play, especially if you're over leveled. But you have no healing, so that's why I've got the bought food as a consumable. The throw a mug doesn't really make a lot of difference on heroic +2 max difficulty, but okay, now we get to the burglar. High elf again. Most of these characters are high elves. I made an exception with the hobbit hunter, but high elf just gives good gear and it makes it a really nice start, and you get the extra run speed at level 17 or 18 or something like that, or I don't remember what it is that triggers the extra run speed. It might be taking out the orcs in Bree, Orc Slayer. But again, I've got food to have. Chuck that over to combat. You should be able to look at the DPS of everything that goes through. The character again is the same. I've got the good gear from the prologue. But let's go out and... This is a little bit softer. Is that still up there, is it? I don't mind going into stealth. At this point, there's no real advantage to doing it, but I've actually gone yellow line. So I'll go for the startling twist to give myself that extra one. Commit the traits, that gives me my extra. So that's another stun. So it's an 8-second stun, which is really good. And again, I'm going with wit as my first. But let's go and see if I can pick some stuff up. So go for the boar first. Now, because I'm running yellow, I get Mischievous Glee, which gives me a heal. I want to get that stun out. And that stun is so useful. So useful to be able to get an 8-second stun. It has a decent cooldown on it, but that's okay. If you really need it, it's there. So go for the boar, go for a level 5 boar this time. Mischievous Glee is almost back up, but I'll work on the assumption that it will be there when I need it. Okay, got my critical gate. Mischievous Glee will give me my healing back. Yeah, that's right up. Go through again, and there we go. That's a level 5 heroic +2 with a burglar and running yellow line. Okay, I'll actually go try and... Yeah, the Crabane around here, it's really quite nice because the Crabane are weak creatures. They actually go down very fast. So I'll just run that. Wait for the crit to come up. There it is. I didn't even get through my full set. Mischievous Glee. Let's go for that stun. Plenty of time to finish it off. Okay, so that, I think, is everything I need to say about the burglar. It's quite good, quite strong. Again, when I go to crafting, this time because it's a medium armored character, what I intend doing is Forester, Tailor, and woodworker. Woodworker because clubs are able to be used by the burglar, and it keeps in 3 professions, which is what I'm trying to do. Solo self-found, keep it in 3 professions. Jewelry I'm going to have to collect on the way, but it's the virtue traits that are actually going to give me all the crits and finesse that I need for all of these character classes. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. The intention is to run this again when I get to a higher level, a 15 or so. Might be a bit higher than that, but I'll run through all of these again. Every character class and just show you what the limitations of the class seem to be with solo self-found. But with tailoring and forester and a woodworker, all the light and medium armoured characters should be able to do well. Okay, so we're up to the captain. Heavy armour, which means it will be a prospector and metalsmith and weaponsmith when the time comes. Now, I won't be going on the guild on the weaponsmith because there's no the level difference for DPS for a weaponsmith or a woodworker. The guild isn't that much of an advantage. Within 2 or 3 levels, your actual purple item is okay. So let's just grab the food again. Your purple item is just as good as the teal one. Okay, so I'm going down. Ooh, interesting. I don't know what I've done with this. Let's see where I am. Oh, I went blue. I went blue purely and simply to be able to get the Valiant Strike. So I'll bring out the Hope. And let's go for some healing crits, I think. Yeah, I'll do some damage. And I'll go for the Mark. Okay, that should do me. That should keep me alive a lot better. And put that there. Okay, I'll bring actually would have brought the Hope one out again, but I'll actually bring the War one out just purely and simply because it's available. And let's go for a bit of a run. Now, heavy armor should be good. Level 4 creature first. Yeah, let's start with level 4. As you can see, level 4 is quite fine. Quite well, relatively easy for a level 4. Let's see what we've got here. Level 6. Level 6 will do. Wolf will come into this as well, which is nice. Let's see how well I go against 2 creatures. Well, just because I've got the sidekick, it's taken. So yeah, the captain is doing quite well. No problems really. Heroic +2, doing it. 2 creatures is quite good, especially at heroic +2. But same thing with the character, elf, and I've got the prelude, great sword, and blue line just purely and simply to get Valiant Strike, which does a heal. And a heal over time every time you use it. Rallying Cry is always good, and keep it up. And of course, Revealing Mark. From now I've reached level 7, I can actually get Revealing Mark, which is what it is. So, restore 4% of maximum morale whenever it triggers. Yeah, skill attacks trigger it. So it does quite well. And as you can see from hitting 2 creatures. There's no point going into lower creatures. Again, keep the food up from Bevy of Bars. I've got these over here which I'm not going to be using. Well, eventually I will use motivating speech, but yeah, keep the food up and this character should be fine. Okay, let's move on to the next character. Don't think there's anything else I need to show. I had the pet on guard and assist so that it would attack the same creatures that I was attacking. You can change it off assist, but it's better to take down one creature at a time on heroic +2 and not worry about the second one. Both take down the first one. Okay, so now I am up to the champion. Champion is, as you would expect, one of the stronger character classes. Ooh, I missed the Beorning. Oh dear, I will put the Beorning at the end. Can't believe I missed the Beorning. The Beorning is the strongest of all the heroic +2 character classes at this level. They're all pretty good, but you know, you have to throw the levels around a little bit on each of the character classes. The gear is the gear from the High Elf balances everything out. Okay, so again, food. I am running as a blue line. Could go for the second win, but don't really need it at this point. I'm not going to do Sweeping Repose. And Horn of Champions is nice. It decreases incoming damage. So we'll go for that. Yep. These two both decrease, so that's decreases damage by 30%, and that decreases damage AoE by 20%. So they're nice little additions to start off with. And I'm going wit still again. But let's go out and have a bit of fun. Again, heavy armor. I'll be going weaponsmith and metalsmith, as well as prospector. Now let's see what this is. Level 4. Oh well, yeah. Okay, I can take that out almost immediately. But the main trick with the champion is to get that bubble up as fast as possible, do a bit of damage reduction. Now, the champion doesn't get see, I'm almost on full hit points by the time I finish that. The champion doesn't get a dual wield weapon until it gets to level 10, so I'm using the two-handed weapons. So you've got to get that bubble up as soon as possible. I went in a bit early. Am I going to get the second one in? No, I'm not, but I'll run straight to it anyway. It's a level 6 creature. We've got to get that damage reduction going, even if it's no... Let's get some more damage reduction. So it's now got both. And I should be able to do that relatively straightforward. Okay, so again, you get that. That bubble is the most important thing. The sudden defense, that's your healing. But you require at least 1 fervor, removes 3. Your wild attack to start off with gives you that. So further down the track, you'd be pushing things. You know, I run a heroic +2 champion a lot of further down, level 150 actually. But just to be able to pull that bubble in from the martial champion just makes a difference. Just makes a difference to be able to do that. And you've got your reflection as well, so I'm just looking that up. So you get damage reflection whenever you're, 10% chance to add a further pip and reflect 10% of damage, which is quite nice. Let's cook food, just giving me a little bit of extra, and of course that's the heroic +2. Okay, so as I said, the champion's pretty straightforward. As long as you've got that bubble and as long as you've got a little bit of damage reduction kicking in, you can just roll through all of the main skills that you've got at the start. Okay, so I will move on to, and you can see the DPS. It wasn't too bad, but not as high as some, but then again, you've got more resilience. When you get to the legendary item, you'll actually push sudden defense as your priority to get the shorter cooldown. And you'll also have a fervor builder. Just jumping into blue line for two points to get a fervor build to start before the attacks. But I do that in the heroic +2. Okay, so Guardian time. The Guardian is it's not what I would consider to be the strongest of the heavy armor, because it doesn't have a heal, and you've also got the disadvantage of, to do enough DPS at heroic +2, you really need to use the two-handed weapon, and that means none of your block effects can be used. So you're stuck using parry response, and because you're stuck using parry response, you are better off running in red line. So that's the block response. I'm not going to get that, so I'm running purely parry responses. Again, I've got wit sitting there waiting to happen, and I'm running the gear from the high elf and the sword from the prologue, which gives you a nice bit of advantage. Okay, let's go for a bit of food. Now I'm going to run, I normally run these from 4 down to 1, but the Guardian being what it is, 1 up to 7. So let's go and see what we've got. I'll start off with something simple. Level 4 boar will be nice. It's not, as I said, it's not as resilient as the other high. Where are we? There we go. Oh, we got a little bit of lag going through. Gone. That's a level 4. Is this a level 6? Okay, I'll take a level 6 on. Wait for everything to come back. Okay, let's go through. Just make sure your sequence is there. Run through it. Ooh. Take a bit of damage. As I said, it's a bit of a worry, but not as strong. Taking more damage, running things just 1 level below. But you can get through it. I would suggest that you don't do on-level content with it, because it is going to be slightly difficult. But you can get ahead. Not too bad. Not too bad. Level 5, we'll try another level 5 creature. Overwhelm is back. So Overwhelm does a fair amount of damage, which is good, but you need to have it in sequence. Level 5. And then run through the sequence again. Oh, I missed the Overwhelm, did I? Okay, that's fine. Yeah, so I'm still not taking 2 creatures at a time, but that's just the nature of heroic +2. Got a level 4 Auric, which I may as well take just because. And overwhelm, make sure it kicks out. Done. Okay, so again, heavy armor, great for heroic +2, but good gear from the high elf, which will eventually get run speed as well, and running red line because you can't use the block response because your DPS just has to be. See, my DPS here is only 70, where I was running at 300 or 200s and things like that for other characters. So it is the battles are going to take longer, but the heavy armor gets you through it. Okay, so that's the Guardian. I think that was actually going to be the deed. And I think it's time for me to move on to the next character. Not a lot I can say about the Guardian. I don't play it very often, but no, once you've got the sequence in order, you can get things going. So retaliation and breach requires requires a parry response for retaliation, but I haven't got anything that actually generates a parry response at this point. Opens a combat response, yes. This requires that. I'll actually do one more and see if I can get a parry response up. Oh, there we go, got hit. As I said, this is where the healing becomes problematic. But a lot of damage taken, not much advantage to playing it. But if you stay over level, you won't take an awful lot of damage. Okay, so next one up, I think, is going to be. I don't play the Guardian heroic +2 very often, but you can do it. You can do it. It's heavy armoured and it does do some DPS. Well, when it's two-handed. The sword and board version just can't do enough damage. It's more a tank build for these things. Okay, next is the Hunter. Now the Hunter is is one of the more interesting builds and I made it a little hobbit just purely and simply because I didn't need it to be a high elf for run speed, but I probably should have made it an elf rather than a high elf, just to get that extra 5% damage with the bow eventually. But at this point I'm running it as a hobbit Hunter. Running yellow line. Normally you would run either blue line or red line for a Hunter. And there will be a rework of the Hunter, I think, in 6 months or so. But running yellow line, and I will show you why I'm running yellow line. It is the traps and defensive abilities that the yellow line Hunter runs with. And I chose the Hobbit because I have basically no gear on. It's all the beginner's gear. But I do have the one sword, one bow, and one dagger, which I get from the prologue. So this really is an under. Did that not? Oh, I don't have these. Not actually functioning. Okay, so I do have the food, but so better show the. The actual build. So I've got points in there. I don't want explosive arrow. I don't want combat extra trap damage. No, I don't really want that, but I will go for the extra damage over time, I think. Yeah, I think push that in. Not really needed, but again, going with wit for the crit. And let's go in. So I've run this character of the Hunter a few times, but drop your trap, slow run in with, drop your decoy and just keep hitting. It will explode now, the decoy eventually. There it goes, and I survived that. So you're basically running a decoy. I'll just find myself another one, something else a little bit higher. Oh, it's at another level 4, but okay, I'll run through that again. Not much I can do in this kind of territory. Well, as far as visibility is concerned, not much I can do. But I'll go for something different. Level 5, that'll do. Drop the decoy to start off with this time. Drop the trap. Kick this in. Gone. So it is a very different way of playing the hunter to the traditional hunter, because you really are relying on traps and decoys. So let's see, level 6. That's as good as what I've been doing. So you can see the DPS here is about 200, which is pretty good. Okay, drop the trap, drop the decoy. We'll go with damage over time from the barbed arrow. Get enough points up to be able to run these. Back it up. And the explosion did it. The explosion ended up doing the level 6 critter. So yeah, I'm actually quite enjoying the yellow line hunter. Drop them in, get the thing started. Back it up, just to make sure you're not being there, and let's watch it explode. There it goes. So yeah, it's quite different, but and I've got a backup trap if I really need it. Oh, that went very quickly. Didn't even need the decoy, which will explode. There it goes. Okay, so as I said, doing this with no gear, which was the main point of showing this as a hunter, as a hobbit. The high elf would have got good medium arm gear. Again, I'm going to go for a bow, so woodworker and forester and tailor, because those are the most important things for a hunter. But again, solo self-found and great DPS. So yeah, as long as you can keep them off the hunter, great DPS. Okay, I will move on to the next character. A bit unexpected that the hunter would do so well, but that's really running it solo against solo characters. Right? Against 2 opponents, you need both traps. The explosive works. Maybe I should show that. Don't really need to, but the 2 traps work, and the explosive decoy works. You just have to do a little bit more work pulling down the creatures. Okay, time to move on to the next character. Right, give me page 2. Loremaster. Okay, Loremaster is the one that I've been running at Heroic +2. I'm level 148, I think, with the max difficulty Loremaster. It's all about the pet, and it's all about blue line. at level 148, it's also about yellow line, but at this point it is all about the blue line and which pet you decide to run with. So at the early levels, I have a fearless Loremaster that I'm running as well. That's about level 24 or so. Trying to get up to and doing it on the Mordor server, so I'm taking on the Shadow Wraiths with it. Okay, so going for the bear. I've got this is from BuffBars, and I'm going for the food. Food should disable both of those. Now, let's go out there, and again, I will try first off. Level 5 bear will do. So, character class itself, I'm running blue line, and decided not to go with the Bog Guardian because I really want the bear for its defensive abilities. And again, I'm going to go for wit. Okay, so send the bear in. I'm going on guard mode and assist. Once the bear's actually in there, I'll do some pet attacks. You can see that I've done enough damage, done too much damage. Now the bear's got aggro. So running these two and then running the Burning Embers and Gust of Wind did not do enough. The bear did not do enough damage to hold aggro, which is not good. Let's go back in there with an attack. This time I'll do the pet attacks, the 2 minor pet attacks, and then I'll just start pushing Wizard's Flame. See, much faster. Even if I start with Wizard's Flame now, having got a few pumps into the extra damage that the sigil does, the bear actually does. The bear does really quite well. There we go. Really a lot faster. That's one of the reasons I like running it. As long as the bear can get in there. Yeah, got it before. So a lot faster to run. 280 damage is pretty good. You can actually start off with those attacks. Bear's getting aggro because it's still got the Wizard's Fire, rank 5, which is really quite good. And just keep running it. Don't need to stop. Do need to back up occasionally, but really fast. I mean, that's one of it's one of the better Heroic +2 character classes, purely and simply because it's just so fast. Got aggro, I'm going to stand and boom. Done. Again, very fast. Come on. Pet, yeah, good, you got your stun in. And that actually got me up to level 8. Okay, I just enjoy running the Loremaster like that. So, again, high elf gear, good staff, which means that when I come to actually doing the crafting, I'm going to go for the Forester, the Tailor, and the Woodworker to get the better staff. And I'll probably do the crafting on the Tailor because that actually is quite good. And they're solo self-found, so they are collecting all of their light hide, and they'll go for medium hide when the time comes. But yeah, as I said, the Loremaster is quite fun to play. I've got another level, might as well put that in. Don't want the Bog Guardian, but I do want I don't really want that. Could do more damage from the potential sigils, but what I actually want is more pet morale and more pet damage reduction. Okay, so time to move on to the next. So at some point I'll go for the eagle, when the time comes, and I'll get the extra sigil durations because that's really important, and we'll go from there later. Okay, Loremaster, much faster. As long as you have the attack on your bar to force them to attack, and keep the sigils up, the fire sigil, because it increases the outgoing damage from the pet by, I think, 20%, 25% per sigil. So it just makes it so much more damage. Basically doubles the damage as long as you can keep the sigil up. Okay, next character is... See if I can get the second page up. This seems to be taking longer to actually load these things nowadays. Don't quite know why. But we've got the Mariner. Mariner is one of the newer character classes. I have run the Heroic +2, the max difficulty Mariner through Moria, but I did it with a herbalist sidekick, purely and simply just because, like the Guardian, it just does not have enough healing capacity to run at max difficulty, not unless you're significantly over leveled. But to run on level, comparing it to all of these other character classes, you absolutely need to take your time. Okay, I'll get the healing, get the health from the simple rations. And buy those from provisioners, and let's just head out. With all of the Heroic +2 Mariners, the Blade Shield gives a 25% parry chance. The On Guard ups that to 50%, I think. So just go for those. So now I have a 25 there and a 50% there, so that's a 100%. 75% increase in parry chance. So I'm always precursing these with Blade Shield, On Guard, and then running into my routine. I'm running it yellow line because the counter attack gives a 100% chance of stun. So the counter attack, oppose, thrust, advance to give that. So where is my advance? Advance is there. So once I've done this one, chance for advance to stun your opponent after repose is 100%. So that one to that one gives me a stun to anything that I attack, which gives you enough time to keep things alive, keep yourself alive. So go for the extra parry, run through the sequence. Done. Very fast. Let's go for another one. See if I can find something there. Again, it's a heavy armored character. Sorry, this is a medium armored character. So I'll be going for Forester, and okay, we're going for a wolf. Lunge. Now this will throw this all the way over here. One of the other advantages of these two in combination is it pulls you back to center, so you don't have to worry about centering as much. Come on. Ooh. That fire breath is new from running in here. I have fire breath now, breath of fire, gradually increasing that, but again, it's another one of the yellow lines. There's some stuns and all sorts of other things that I'll get into later on while I'm playing, but yeah, it's nice just to have that extra crowd control. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lunge, didn't need it. Total damage 451. That's pretty good. Pretty good. and it's mainly because I can run through the sequence. As long as he doesn't take too much damage, he can get away with it. I had to push an extra point in to get up to, for the lunge doesn't activate until you've got 5 attunement. So I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but should have lunge, should tune there, but sometimes it doesn't. Let's go for a wolf. Get it in sequence, lunges up. I can actually go to something else and use the lunge as long as I do it quick enough. And I'll go for fire breath this time. Slightly different. Yeah, so it's quite good. It again does not have any healing, so you have to be very careful about getting all your see up 765. That's just brilliant. So the most damage that I've got out of all of these characters is from the Mariner, but it's fragile. The healing takes a while for healing to get there. There are a couple of healing skills that you can actually have with the Mariner, but not yet, not at this lower level. And you can actually sail around, which is quite good. So, and go straight to Compendium after this. Okay, I will move on to the next character. It's quite fun to play, but it just does not have the enough healing to make it really playable. It's unfortunate, but there's a number of these character classes that are like that. They just take too much damage. If you get attacked by multiple opponents, or you try and push against something just slightly higher than you, and you don't do enough damage. That's why the virtue traits are I've always doing the critical virtue traits and the let's see if I can pick this up. Now the Minstrel is interesting. No, I didn't. Okay, let's. Minstrel is interesting. It's one of those heroic +2 character classes I rarely run. Again, because it is a bit difficult to do. I am going to run it on lower level creatures than I am, because I just don't do enough DPS, and I can't heal myself enough to stay alive. So it is not as strong, but it does have the ability to heal yourself back up after you've taken a lot of damage. So that is an advantage, whereas the Mariner and the Guardian just don't have that extra quick recovery after a fight. Let's go for a bit. So I'm running down from 4, and I'll run down to the Coda. Again, high elf gear for nice defense, and the weapons are from the Prelude. Running Redline. I've just picked up the Call of Orome, but it doesn't really do anything as much at this point in time, so I've got it out a little bit further down. But let's go out and have a look at some stuff. Let's go and do a bit of fighting. I might actually ride to something, seeing I think I've cleared most of the stuff around here, and that one's on a rock. So, see what we've got. Here we go, there's something. What is it? A level 6 boar. That'll do to start off with. Oh, got a level 4 boar, that'll do even better. Back it up. As I said, took damage, need to do some healing. Do some more healing. Okay, let's try this again. Make sure I get 3 ballads in. Oh, got a stun. I'm on dissonance stance. Close. You can see how close that got. because I'm in light armor and I keep getting attacked. 200 damage, 200 DPS is okay, but just using light armor, not much you can do about it. Okay, another level 6. I'm probably going to, if I keep going against level 6 creatures, I'm going to die, but that's okay. Heal it up. 321. You can't complain about the damage, but you can complain about the amount of healing you have to do, and just how close you are to dying every time. It takes a couple of bad rolls, and your character is not going to survive it. Let's try it again. Gone. Okay. I will keep going. But yeah, same thing. The character is all high elf, red line, doing okay. We'll put more points into other things as time goes on, but we'll rely on the critical and finesse from virtue traits. Not quite as strong as the others, but hey, look, if you like playing a minstrel, go for it. Would be nice if I just get that little bit of extra healing in, but I want the extra DPS from the red line and the dissonant stance. I just have to do the DPS before the light armor gets mashed. That play off against each other. You really need that high DPS. It doesn't have a protector like the captain does. It doesn't have a pet. So yeah, there's not much you can do about it. Okay, so let's move on to the Runekeeper. Oh, I didn't get it. Runekeeper. Now, I like the Runekeeper. You've probably seen when I rate the character classes, the Runekeeper usually gets quite a high rating because it can deal out some nice DPS, and it has a reasonably decent heal. The Rifler it's a class specific item that I can't remember which crafting line it's on, but it gives an extra 100% damage, 100% healing to the initial Prelude of Hope, which makes a huge difference. So this is going to be one of the few times that I would actually choose to craft something other than the traditional weaponsmith. So it is going to be slightly different, and I will go into that when the time comes, when I'm actually more than level 7. At this point in time, I can't really do it, but yeah, level 6 ball will do for starters. Now, I'll back up just purely and simply because I don't want to do the fight initially. Running red line, but I went 2 points into Mending Verse to get that, and I went 2 points into Ceaseless Argument to get that, but I am in actual fact running red line. I just wanted to go into extra things to get that extra healing ability. So, get that healing over time going, then I can actually start doing some extra damage. Done. 110 damage, that's not too bad, but healing first. get that extra resilience in, and go for the and the channeled smouldering wrath is what this is why the red line is just so strong. Didn't even need the smouldering wrath. So yeah, good damage, good healing. As long as you set them up, you're fine. Oh, am I going to die? No, I managed to get the instant shocking words out, which gave me that extra. Again, get the healing up. So these healing over times is what saved me in that situation. Gone. Very good, very solid for a red line with those extra. So that mending verse, you can see why that was so useful. And the Prelude to Hope is useful. As I said, I'll look at getting that rifler for this rather than doing the traditional build I expect. And that is the red line Runekeeper. You can run the yellow line, but the Rid of Fire does a bit of damage over time. The Smouldering Wrath is what gives you it's what gives you the game. Pull a bit with yellow for the Ceaseless Argument. It's an instant, one attune, and the Mending Verse just keeps it ticking over, which is quite good. Okay, well, that's the Runekeeper, and I will move on to the next character class. Yeah, the runestone comes from the prelude, the prologue. Always nice to have. The tailor's gear is nice defense, but that rifler and weapon are going to be the most important aspects of this, I think. Just taking these down as quickly as possible and giving yourself that extra little bit of healing from the Prelude of Hope, initial healing. It's just going to make it so much stronger. So I have the Warden and the Beorning left to do. The Warden is, again, one of the... it's actually reasonably good, but I'm running this from Australia, so I have a very long lag time. I cannot respond to the Warden requires a small lag time, good response time, because if you miss something or you make a mistake or the critter dies and you've got a second critter there, your choice of gambits is very critical, and I'll show you the response time that I have for the Warden, and that will probably explain why I've set it up the way I have set it up. Again, I've chosen a High Elf. Don't need it for the run speed because at some point the Warden will get its own run speed. But the three main gambits, the builders are here, and there's the gambit. So I've actually got the sequence that I want to run, or pre-built, and someone there. I'll just go through the sequence. So I've got a parry, extra parry, and I've got some damage over time. I've got another damage over time. Actually, this is a heal coming up. And we're done. So just so you can see it, you can see what the sequence that I've got is. I thought it'd be easier to run through it this way. I'm running red. I don't have anything. I don't have anything really special at level 7, but you can see the. Oh, what have I got? I won't worry about the ambush because it's already on me. Get that heal up as quick as possible. Done. Oh, this is sequence bars, by the way. You set the sequence in the bars itself, and there's a lot to sequence bars. I'm not going to describe it. I've described it in other places, but yeah, it very important to. So it has a stun, which I didn't have time for in the other one, but it gives me the opportunity to get some extra stuff out. Just got it in time. So yeah, it's quite strong. Well, oops, I don't have that sitting properly. Doesn't do much DPS. It's a medium armored character. You have to use a lot of skills. But as I said, my response time is 290 milliseconds, a third of a second. Sorry, 0.3 of a second. My response. So I really cannot respond to vagaries. Let's try level 6 critter. If I make mistakes, there's not much I can do about it. Now I've got this so it only activates when it actually uses the skill. Get that heal up. Finish off with a couple of these. Done. So yeah, it works. I mean, it does work. There's not much you can say. It does work, but as I said, I just don't have the response, the capacity to actually respond to it on a instantaneous. I just don't have it. It's 0.3 of a second between when I actually start stuff and when it actually happens. When I see it actually happen. So I can't really respond to needing healing and things like that because I just have to rely on having the most chance of actually succeeding. I knew I was going to run out, so I just gave myself a little bit of a heal. Use an essence rather than actually using the builder. Okay, so that is the Warden. It's quite fine. I'm sure if you had a much better latency than that, if you're in European server or the US server, I'm quite sure you would be able to run. You can run these down here obviously as well, but yeah, it just that much more difficult for us down here. Okay, and again, medium armor, which means I've got the spear, the javelin, and that's the woodworker, and the Forester and Tailor for the gear. Definitely the way to go for that. And just keep building those, make sure the Forester gets enough wood, and make sure that the Tailor gets its light and medium hide. I will be continuing on with this, but it is difficult down here. Okay, and now we've got the strongest of the character classes, pretty much, the Beorning. There we go, the Beorning. I'm running yellow line, which I do traditionally for all of the max difficulty Beornings, mainly because of the things you get with the bees, and there's a couple of other things that you get. It's heavy armour, so I'm going to be running Weaponsmith and Metalsmith, as well as Prospector, for the solo self-found version. I'll bring the... So yeah, running it on blue line, yellow line, but critical healing and Stampede would be nice, but extra fear, no. I'm actually going to go for the extra healing, I think. Or mitts would be nice, but I'm heavy armour, so I don't really need the mitts. So, well, the mitts don't do as much, let's put it that way. So I'm going to run through human form, run through, get the Hearthen up and running, swap to bear form, and then run through some extra thrash and some extra healing over time. Let's get out there. So that's the bear form. Oh, look at that. Oh dear. Come on, give me the bear. Don't make the bear fly. Actually, give me the bear. Oh my goodness, how long is this going to last for? Oh, there it is. Okay, give me the actual animation. But, as I said, run through. Oh, I've got some lag going. Oh, wow. Got to work on the assumption that it's actually going to work. So, DPS is down, but the healing is right up. It really makes a difference, that extra healing. And again, start off in human form. Run through, make that heal over time, get it in, swap over. Got stunned, get the heal over time and fix that. Keep it rolling, get that Hearthen in just to tap it out. Very solid character class. Don't have to swap over to human, but the slash adds wrath, the slam adds wrath. Just gives you, just make sure you're on reasonably good wrath by the time you takes it down on staying on full health. It really is a bit of a monster. See, the level 6 boar, that'll do. Just add that wrath in, get that heals over, swap over to bear. Couple of thrashes, back to encouraging raw. Just do some extra wrath generation. And just flip between the two of them, and there you are, it's done. Just so strong. The gear is, okay, so I've got wit. The gear itself is the gear that the Beorning comes with. Again, the Great Axe comes from the prologue at this point, and I've got the extra earring, but that doesn't do an awful lot. And I've got this from one of the expansions, I think. But yeah, very strong, very strong. All the healing in the world, all the healing you could possibly want. And not a huge amount of DPS, but that healing just makes so much difference. You're basically always on, well, always near full. And I didn't even have Mark of Grimborn on, which increases things. So I'll do that with the Mark of Grimborn. That's going to be a level 4 boar. It's not going to take much. Just a monster. Just a monster. So yeah, that is the Beorning, and that is all of them. That is all of the character classes at level 7 on max difficulty. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Oh, I'm not dancing around. I should be dancing. Yeah. I will catch you in the next video. Okay, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye.